Yo, yo, my friends, so welcome to this week's Mind Vitamin. So, congratulations, you are currently on week 9. So, this week we are going to be covering in this Mind Vitamin the topic of the self image. Okay, now, the self image, what is the self image? Well, the self image is basically how you perceive yourself, how a person perceives themselves. Okay, so over time, over a person's time, like from growing up as a young kid, right, to growing up into being an adult, right, a person develops a number of these self impressions, as we call them, right, self impressions that have been built up over time to create a self image. Okay, so it's like what the way you think about yourself, what you think about yourself, and the way you see yourself and the way you see the world, etc. This all stems from from this, right? From these self impressions that we've created, right? So I want you to imagine, for example, like we've heard stories about people winning the lottery, for example, right? From like having no money, from being really poor and growing up, um, like being really poor and not never really having money in their life, to suddenly having this large amount of money come into their life. And what we found is like all like these lottery winners, we've heard stories that they've just blown the money away, right? And all of a sudden they're back to having no money. And we get this, it's the exact same thing with weight loss, we get this with fitness, right? All sorts of stuff out there that, like a person loses so much weight, right? Or a person gets like to a point like in their fitness where they're happy, they always want it to be there, and then all of a sudden they go back to old habits, right? All of a sudden, like the weight goes back on, etc., right? And like I keep banging on about how 95% of people who do manage to lose weight, like within 18 months, they put all the weight back on and then put more weight on. Okay, so it's this constant like they get to the point they want to be, and then all of a sudden, all the plates come crashing down. So why does this happen, right? And this is down to a person's self-image, right? Like the same with like the person that wins the lottery and can't hold on to the money, and the person that loses weight and can't hold on to that weight loss. It's the exact same thing. It's like the mindset won't allow them to stay there because like they've built this self-impression about who they are, right? So if you've noticed, right, inside of this program, we've been working on this, right? Like this has not just been like a diet plan for you to follow or an exercise program for you to follow, right? And the truth is, like you've probably tried all that stuff already before, and if we had done that in this program, like we wouldn't be helping you achieve long-term success, right? If you want to be one of the 5% of people who manage to continue on this journey long term, for keep it up for the rest of their life, we have to change the self-image. Okay, so what you'll find is like I'm going to ask you a few questions here, right? Just to It's a bit of reflection, this mind vitamin, right? I want you to reflect back on this program and the work that you've done inside of this program, right? And I want you to pay attention to your situation now. Like, where are you at right now? Like, do you notice anything different? Like, what I'm talking about here is the way that you talk to yourself, right? The self talk, the internal dialogue, okay? Do you, are you doing things differently now? Okay? Not just that, right? Like when you look at yourself in the mirror now, right? What is how do you perceive yourself? Like how do you look at yourself? And when you get up and you're going about day to day life, like how are you? What is your outlook like? Right? Has that changed? Right? And like this homework that we've been working on inside of the Indestructible Men program has been specifically designed for this, for a person to come in and change their self-image, to change their internal dialogue, right? To change the way they think about things. So in turn, right, their actions change. So that's what we need to consider, right? Like not just your self-talk has that changed, but how do you feel, right? And like, are you taking different actions now, right? A lot of my clients they say like, you know what, like I've achieved so much during this program, during these 9 weeks so far, and during these 9 weeks, like more than I have achieved in the past 10 years or so. right? So something to think about here today. We're going to be working on stuff in this week inside of the course, right? We're going to be looking at the Wheel of Life, okay, which is another powerful exercise that we're going to be working on. But from watching this mind vitamin here, I just want you to reflect a little bit, right? Because a lot, like, we've heard stories of clients have come, like, at this point inside the program, and this will probably be you as well, right? Like, think about like your self awareness. Like, how different is it, right? How different is your self awareness and like your conscious thinking, right? The way you're talking to yourself, the way you feel about yourself, like the way you feel about life, right? And in general, but also like physically, mentally, how do you feel at this point inside the program? Okay, all right. So self-image, very powerful, very important, and congratulations because you have been working on exactly that, changing self-image, which in turn will change your life.